Tuesday the 13th of January 2026. Look at that beautiful sky. Absolutely stunning. It's 10:40 a.m. It's chilly outside. The temperature is 3 degrees, but it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous day. I'm just going over Shane's Hill after dropping Rebecca off at college, and as I say, it's just, when I get a look at that, I just thought, oh, that is too nice not to share. So have a good day, everybody. Good morning, people. Long time no see. If I've done this correctly, I have already done like a wee intro. Was coming over the mountain, as we call it, and the sky was just stunning. So I decided to take a wee video, and that was me saying hello and showing you our beautiful Northern Ireland countryside, as you've seen many times before. As you're aware, I've taken and do seem to take hiatus and disappear for a while and then come back, but I'm going to make a conscious effort this year. Last year was just it's a year that I don't want to repeat, but I think we've all had that kind of year when you look at the world as a whole. So this year I've decided I'm going to make a conscious effort to at least once a month show up here on YouTube and say hello, because I still get messages from some of you lovely people even after all this time. So I'm not going to get emotional, but just thank you to those who stay in touch. You know who you are. I am awful at doing that. I will openly say that. Yeah, but we're going to go with doing the usual, showing you whips. I'm going to show you some yarn that the girls and Michael got me at Christmas. I finished one pair of socks already this year. I'm in a sock kick. Didn't knit or crochet a lot last year, which, you know, as I say, because last year was such a crappy year, it just, the craft bug wasn't happening. I got a jacket on because when I sat here initially, it was like everything was beige. I've got like a, I don't know what I think they call it, a lounge suit, you know, pair of pajama bottom type things and a long sleeve top, and everything was cream. So I threw this on. Yeah, so here we go. In case you don't know who I am, my name's Mary. I'm from Northern Ireland. I am 54, going on 55. Sometimes feel like 75, but hey ho. I am a mother of two, I was going to say teenage daughters, but two grown adult women now. Marion is coming 24 and Rebecca is coming 20. Where does the time go? It flies in. I have been knitting since I was in primary 5 is when I learned to knit. I've been crocheting since my mother passed away, so that's about 11 years. But I started prolifically, I can't say that word, knitting more now than crocheting, and I love it. I enjoy, the girls enjoy, I should say I enjoy, we enjoy wearing my knitted socks, which is a big thing that I seem to be knitting more of. Last year, as I said, I didn't do a wild lot of stuff, but this year I've decided that I'm going to make socks a priority. I'm going to knit or crochet what I want, not necessarily what I think I should be making. And I'm going to try my darndest to do mostly from stash, because I have quite a large stash. I have made numerous friends over the course of the last 6 or 7 years on YouTube and Facebook and whatnot, and I've been very, very fortunate where I've been gifted some beautiful yarn. Those friends, there's some of them that I'm still in contact with. My sisters from another mister, especially Miss Carla May and Sandra Tester. Love you ladies. Still Zoom with them, still see them, still, yeah, we're like 3 bad pennies, you can't give us up. So what I've been doing, as I say, last year was just not a year where I can say I enjoyed crafting that much. I did do it, but I didn't enjoy it the same as what I had been. So I thought, right, what can I do to change that? Because I knew I didn't want to give it up. I knew that I didn't want to lose it, because it's immensely helpful for me with my mental health. And so I decided, right, I'm going to make an effort to do, I don't want to say make an effort, I'm going to do what I enjoy doing. So number one would be socks. And like I've finished, this is the 12th, and I have 1 pair finished, but I think 3 more on the needles. And I don't normally have that many on the needles with the intention of doing a 4th. But I came across a lady on YouTube, YarnNYarns is her Instagram and YouTube channel, and I'll link it below. Pardon me. She has been doing this thing for a few years and I'd never seen it before, and it's called 12 cast-ons for this year, it's 2026. And I thought, gosh, that's a good idea, but could I actually have 12? And the answer was yes, I could have 12, but maybe not at one time. So what I've decided to do is, I do have about 6 at the minute. I know there's a few more that I want to, so I may not do the total 12 and always have 12 cast on at one time, but I might have 8 or 10 cast on at one time, and some of them I'm going to class as one, and some of my items I'm going to class as, no, rephrase that. I've got DK socks here, for example. I've got 2 pairs on the needle, but to me that's classed as one item because it's DK socks. So that's kind of what I'm meaning. So as I say, I think her name's Angela. I'm nearly sure her name's Angela. So she kind of gave me the kick up the ass, I suppose I needed, and the incentive and the push and the joy, and you know, to do this. So this is what my plan is, and this is what I intend to do going forward. We all know the best laid plans of mice and men. You know, this is my intention. So I have to say that I'm going to write it down, all this jazz. So here we go. Look at the ready. So what I done, this is the whips that I have got and the one finished object. So the one finished object first is, if you're on Instagram, you've seen these. My Rebecca likes a shorter sock, Marion likes a longer sock, so I do short socks and long socks. When I say short socks, I maybe do the cuff. Oh, that's better. That's a nice team. I maybe do the cuff about 15-20 rows of rib, and then the leg for Becca is maybe about 30, but for Marion it's maybe about 50 or 60, depending. Wasn't thinking it was what I was doing, first pair of socks for the year. Thought to myself, right, oh, love this colour, we'll do that. Turns out Mary didn't have enough wool. It was only a 50 gram, no, it wasn't even a 50 gram ball. So that looks more grey. Who's going to be looking at the toe? Do my girls care? No. Is it a finished pair of socks? Yes. So yeah, that's about it. So we have got Olu pair of shorties for Becca. So that's number one. It's a bit windy here today. No, because they haven't been cast on yet. Number two is what I said to you about socks, DK socks. I have 2 pairs of DK socks. This is one of them. I have so much scrap sock yarn that I start and I do a blanket with it, and then I get fed up with that, and then I do another blanket, and I get fed up, and I rip it out and roll it. And so I thought, right, Marion and I had been talking. I'd got her out of Primark this pair like of slouchy socks. She says, Mum, they're really, really comfortable. And I says, well, look, do you want me to try and knit something like that? Not necessarily where I'm going to make slouchy, but just DK with the longer leg again. So it means that they fall and they slouch. And she says, yeah, please, would you? So that's what I done. I started these last night. Now, this is what I'm knitting from. This is a blanket. And the blanket's lovely, and the blanket's cute, and the blanket's everything. But the blanket wasn't bringing me any joy. So, I'm knitting from the blanket. And these are the start of the DK socks. So that is just 3.5, my stitch markers, 3.5 needles, 15 rows of 1x1 ribbing, and then I'll go for maybe, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 rows, and then do the fit. So that's one, and there's the other one. So these socks are going to be really different. So there's sock number one, and then there's sock number two. So, you know, not matching pair, which again, my girls are fine with. So you've got stitch markers. These are from Christmas as well. And then you've got sounds gay, I'm in, stitch markers. Not stitch markers, needle stoppers. All 3.5mm needles, but I think they're going to turn out cute. And as I say, they don't care if they match. Shit, half the time they don't even wear matching socks. I can go out to get myself a pair of socks and they've just lifted whatever does my head in. So that's the first DK ones. The second DK ones are for one of my brothers, because my intention last year was to knit all my brother's socks. Have the yarn, everything for it, but between having a crappy year and I took like a frozen shoulder type thing, that didn't happen. Knitting irritated it, which was awful. So these are just plain grey. I think this is Drops. Yeah, Drops Fiesta. Colour Y13. So what I do, or what I'm planning on doing, and I did I do it for this one? Yes. I took 50, they come in 50 gram balls. That's 25 grams. And that is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 50 rows. That again, 15 rows of knit one, purl one. This is going up to about 70 rows, and then heel flap and gusset. So I don't want the join to be at the heel flap and gusset going forward. I'm going to half one of the balls, so it takes about a ball and a half for each one. So that's sock number one on that one. And there's wee sock number two. So again, 3.5 needles. Sorry about that. So as I say, 3.5 needles, 48 stitches. It's the DK, it's a Crazy Sock Ladies pattern, just vanilla sock, 35 rows. It's a free pattern, so I'm not saying anything out of, pardon me, out of turn. and you just kind of do what you want to do. So that's sock number 2. Sock number 3 is a fingering weight sock, and it is with Patton's Croy. Now, if you know anything and it's turquoise, Patton's Croy is not available here. This, I think, I've had it in my stash for a while, but I think this might have been the lovely, look at that. Carla May sent this to me. I'm nearly 100% sure, but it wasn't yesterday, but I started it, obviously. This is, getting tangled up. This is it, starting to knit up. These are in my 2.25. Oh, that's better. 2.25 knitting needles, 64 stitch cast on. Again, I don't do, I own a lot of patterns for socks, but I tend to always come back to, was it the Apologetic Knitter? I think that's it. I'll let the pattern below. I always seem to come back to the same pattern every single time. I love how the yarn pattern socks are gorgeous. But to me, I just love how the yarn speaks in a plain vanilla sock. To me, it showcases yarn better. That's, and again, personal preference. And knitting around is just, yeah. So isn't that looking gorgeous? And that's pretty much true to colour. So that's my 3rd sock. That's, I've just finished. I knit my socks 2 by 2. Why? I don't know. I find it easier. If I knit the cuff in one and then go knit the cuff in the other. And then if I knit the leg, I knit the leg in the other. So those grey ones, for example, where I'm 3/4 the way up the leg, I'll probably then do more of them than the other one, than the scrappy one, because I like to be in the heel flap. I like to be in different places in my socks, is maybe what I'm trying to say. So there's that one, and I already know the next socks that I'm casting on after those. So that's 1, 2, 3 socks. Then we have scrap yarn. I've done a swap with Ali, and I plan on doing blankets. And one of the blankets that I'm doing, I haven't done a whole lot on it, but I've started it, is the Hibernation Throw. And this is it. Why? Yep. And what my intention is, there's the ball. I'm going till there's about maybe, what did I say to myself, was it 15 grams or 10 grams left of this wee ball, and then I'm going to crochet that into a granny square, and then the end of everything from this is going to be a granny square. So there's ball 1 and ball 2. So I'm going, there we have there, hold on, I'm actually going to move this stitch marker up so that I can say that the next time that this is where I showed and this is much I've done. Keeping myself accountable, but that is that, yeah. And this is the Hibernation Throw by, is it Helen Stewart? Again, I buy patterns, don't use them, but I've been wanting to make this, so this was the perfect. I was going to do the jelly roll, and I was going to do the jelly roll, and I was going to do something else, and I think these are in maybe a 3mm, I can't remember. I was going to do the jelly roll, and I was going to do something else, blanket. But I think I've got a bit of the autism. And when I say the autism, I mean the autism. I should be showing you these wee bags. I don't know who bought me that, and it says well shit. And I don't know who's is there a tag on it? Yeah, that's just totally me. Well shit. And Leslie, what's his name? What was his name? Is that Aaron Lane? Leslie that passed away. What's his name? Oh shit. The comedian. And he got big on Instagram. He's on Will and Grace. Oh, I bet you're all shouting the name. And he died of a heart attack in his car. God bless him. Leslie Allen. I miss him. I go onto his Instagram and look at it, you know, because I just think he's absolutely hilarious. Who was that wee bag? See, a lot of these wee bags were sent to me by Sandra Tester. My BFF. That's another one. Look at the colours. And then this one Sandra definitely sent me. This, yes. Relax. You see the cat hair on it? Look at the frog. Oh, Mary. Crap, it's showing it. Isn't the frog funny? Look at doing yoga. So, yes, that was my Habitation Throw. I'll link everything below. Then we have the Musselburgh Hat. Now, this Musselburgh Hat is, now this lady, I had won a hank of yarn from a beautiful Canadian dyer. And then I ordered a couple, because, you know, what's the point of posting something that far away and then not, you can't not just, you know, have to support people. So, this lovely dyer, again, I will link her. Is it Ravelution? I can't say that. I'll butcher it. But the dialogue is Northern Cardinal Song, because I had never, as some of you know, I lived in Canada for a while, and I had never seen a cardinal till I went to Canada. We don't have them here. But look at this. And this is done in 2.5 knitting needles. Look at that when it hangs up. Like, oh my, why is it all time? I think I might have practiced. Look. And it's gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. So put that back in there. And let me show you this. So again, get a bit of it, let me straighten it out. Oh, it's not even showing it properly. So this isn't, no, it's not showing it properly, but oh my word. That's a Musselburgh Hat. That's, yeah, and the yarn's beautiful. And I have two more, and I'm going to make a not of this here, different colourway, but it's got that red in it. And I'm going to make another Musselburgh Hat with it and socks. See? So that's, how many projects is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's projects. And the last one I'm going to show you is this one here. Not that, you know, I could reach down there in 2 seconds and pull out a project bag. And this, pardon me, is, if any of you watch my Instagram, you'll see that I always post the socks that I knit. And like I said with the scraps, it was like, oh, what am I going to do with them? And then I thought to myself, you know what? I am going to knit myself a Doctor Who scarf. Even though I'd never have watched Doctor Who, and that may be sacrilegious to some of you, but yeah. I have got bits and pieces of all the yarn that I have knit socks with in the last few pairs of socks that I've knit, and I am adding them to a scarf, and this is going to be just ongoing, and I think that was that one there was Knit Picks. I think it was a Knit Picks Felice something. So that's that That's all the projects I have at the minute. So my DK socks count as one. My, even though I've got 2 pair, they count as one. My fingering weight socks count as 2. I ordered yarn. Yes, don't faint, but there's a reason behind it. I ordered Wool Warehouse a couple of balls, 4 balls actually, and 2 other balls was on sale of yellow yarn because we were touched by cancer last year within the family. And there's a lady, Ruth loves to knit. She knits yellow socks for a doctor who gives them out to cancer patients. The Macmillan's flower is daffodil, daffodil's yellow. So she does that. So my intention is that I'm planning on making some for that. So that's going to be my 3 sock genres: Macmillan, my house, and then the DK one. So that'll be 3 of my 12 projects. 4 is the Scrappy scarf. 5 is the blanket that I'm doing. And 6 is the Musselburgh. So at the minute, I will have 6 going. As I say, with I'm looking down there at the Habitat Throw. With the Habitat Throw, to say there's going to be extra yarn, so I'm going to make that. So that's going to be another blanket with 7. I want to knit some, I don't mean commercial, but some normal. I don't mean normal either. Just some everyday hats for Charlie. So that'll be another one, and some lap gowns as well. So I may not get to 12, but I'm going to make an effort to, and I always throw a shawl or 2 in there because I love knitting shawls. And scarves. I actually made the Sophie scarf for the first time. If you haven't made that, make that. That is so easy and it turns out beautiful. I have another one to do for my niece. Done her one there just before Christmas. So as I say, that's the intention. The intention is to potentially get to 12, but everybody seems to be doing it by the end of January. Mine may not be by the end of January because I'm a wee bit late to the show, because a lot of people have been starting this since some point in December. So that's kind of where I am at it, folks, and loving it. And even though I've got so many projects there, not feeling absolutely any pressure. It's actually nice to kind of go, I'm going to work on today, and no pressure to think, okay, no, I need to get some of that done. No, and that's what I'm enjoying more than anything else. So last and final thing, I have to show you some yarny goodness. I was very fortunate to be spoiled by my significant other and children at Christmas. And they got me some yarn. Now, I told them, you know, where to get it. It's a yarn dyer in Scotland that I have never tried before. But it's one of those ones. If you've been here before, look, this is me boring. Dark colours. It's my garden gate. Bang. Dark colours, plain, you know, cream walls, grey couch. I'm a bore bag when it comes to dressing me in colours. Let me take my socks off and show you my socks. I am, however, a funky sock girl. I love bright coloured socks. These were fluff fibres. If you can look on my Instagram, these were fluff fibres. Can't remember the name. It was to do with the Charlie. That's what that was. I wear funky socks, but funky anything else, no. So the last thing I'm going to show you is some yarn from Siobhan Crafts. And Siobhan Crafts is in Scotland. Whoa, look at that thing. Isn't that gorgeous? I actually knit a pair and sent them to Carla, not just before Christmas. It took it ages to get to the States. Little wonder. And it was like that kind of colours. But this is seaweed. Seaweed thickness is socks. 100 grams, 400 meters, and it's 85.15. But isn't that gorgeous? So that was 1. 2 is blooming. Look at that. Gorgeous. Same sock, 100 grams, 400 meters, 85.15. But Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that in there. 3 is Snowflake. Look. 4 is Doll's Word. Again, beautiful. Last but not least, and this is going to be a scarf, a hat or something, I don't know, but this is Purple Flower Bouquet, and this is yeah, 85.15. But look at the wee nip things. I've never worked with anything like that. Isn't that gorgeous? So that's Siobhan Crafts. As I say, I'll link her below. That's me. It's a long one, but I need a haircut. I still need a haircut. That's it. Everybody's fine and dandy. I'm on my way out here to get Marion. I will talk to you soon, and take care. God bless. See you soon. Bye.